The story continues in the kitchen where Regina was preparing the antidote. The cook who was present at this event was very nervous. Since no one but the princess herself knew what she was cooking, Selma asked her why she was cooking it at all. The answer was that it was good to drink before meals. It was about the meal of the emperor and the heir. Both the servants and the cook thought that this brew was poison. And the princess, on the contrary, thought that no one would ever think that it was poison. Surprisingly, the poison the witch's tears that killed the emperor does not harm women. The exact reason for this has not been established, but there are guesses that it is because the potion was prepared by a witch. And the invention of the antidote was a happy coincidence. Although this antidote is a completely unexplored substance, since Regina was not supposed to drink it, she did not care. And now it was time for breakfast. Regina brought the antidote to the table. The heir and the emperor did not like the liquid at all, but the emperor tasted it anyway. But the heir ran away. After that, Regina persuaded the emperor to finish the drink. Her father, though he did not understand why, probably did so out of love for his daughter. When the princess was leaving, she told the emperor that he would now have to drink it every day. He was not happy about it. After that, Regina asked Una to bring a bat, which apparently later helped the heir to drink the antidote. After that, the events moved to the bathroom. Here, the princess learned what punishment the servants had received for discussing gossip, that they were no longer allowed to stay in the capital. She also told Selma that this time, the banquet in honor of the heir's birthday would be extremely important. Selma didn't understand why the princess wanted to be like her brother, but she trusted her because she was never wrong. Selma decided to wait patiently for the princess to explain her reasons. After that, Regina emphasized that no alcohol should be present during the banquet near the heir. She also told Selma to tell everyone else that if they couldn't stop the prince, they should do everything possible to make sure she arrived in time. Then the conversation turned to Silvage's partner. It turned out that she was from the Vedas Viscount and her name was Annetta Vedas. A few years ago, all her family members died, she was left alone, and Duke Silvage took her in. But despite everything, Selma had heard that they didn't have any special relationship, and she was almost like a sister to the younger lord. Regina was preparing to break off the engagement and declare war. And then the banquet came. The princess was enchantingly beautiful. But at the same time, she was worried about how she would look against Aaron. He was already super handsome, and if he made an effort to look good, it would be good if she looked at least a commoner next to him. Aaron and the princess agreed to pair suits in the color of his eyes with diamonds. She gave Aaron cufflinks that matched her earrings. She discussed with Selma whether he liked her gift. Selma's answer was yes. And now it was time for the princess to come out. She realized that it was time to meet her enemies face to face. At that moment, Sir Aaron appeared. Many people in the audience were talking about him, including his brother and uncle Egil Vestine. During their conversation, it turned out that Charlotte, Gisli's fiancé, was ill, so he was ill. During the conversation, Gisli wondered what Regina had offered him that he had agreed to come here. His uncle interrupted his thoughts and asked if he was even listening to him. Heathley said that it didn't matter, because he was always saying the same thing, and he told his uncle that he knew he had never met anyone. The uncle asked how his nephew knew this information and was told that his parents had told him. It was hard for the uncle to talk to his younger nephew because he didn't talk much to his older nephew because he talked a lot. And Gisli was still thinking and waiting for it to become clear what his brother had agreed to. Immediately after that, the imperial family appeared. And the celebration began. The heir danced with his bride, Lady Greta. Regina looked at what was happening and thought about it all in her head. She noticed that she was standing quite far away from the emperor, which helped the assassination attempt in her past life to be successful. The princess decided to concentrate because the assassin was supposed to appear at the end of the last piece of music. The murderer was in the audience during the entire celebration. His attack was so sudden that Regina did not even remember his face, but during the investigation she heard that the victim had died. The princess remembered exactly when everything would happen and decided that she would not let all these terrible events happen. After that, Sir Aaron came up to her. He was too handsome, and this despite the fact that he said he had prepared minimally. And so they began their dance. The eyes of the ladies present were directed at Aaron. His parents have the most famous love story in the empire. They fell in love without even knowing each other. By the way, after that, masquerades became more popular. It's not just an arranged marriage, it's a true love story. Regina learned that Aaron was not interested in marriage and relationships and asked why. Aaron replied that he was not interested and wanted to be like his uncle. His uncle Egil Vestine is the Margrave in charge of the eastern border. He is known as the sharpest blade in the empire. On a rainy day in early summer, the news came that he had been killed in a battle with barbarians. Soon after, Aaron took his place and also died. The Margrave was supposed to send them back to the border tomorrow, but the princess could not allow this to happen, because if it did, both Egil and Aaron would die. They had to be alive to cement the Vestin status as a military family and to become allies in the fight against the Silvages. Regina wanted to influence the report that Egil was to make to the emperor before his departure so that more troops would be sent to the eastern border and the Margrave would stay in the capital. And so the dance of the princess and Aaron came to an end. A little later, Hermann appeared. Regina was not happy, to put it mildly, and even thought about killing him. They had a tense conversation during which the princess finally met the witch Silvage. Her name is Annetta Vedas, and although she is only a year older than Regina, she is an occultist who is able to conquer people. She introduced herself to the princess and said that she was the only daughter of the Vedas family. Regina couldn't understand how the only daughter of a small town from the outskirts of the city could have witchcraft powers. What scared her the most was that she was able to brainwash and control other people's lives, and do it so professionally that no one would even know about it. Regina decided that she needed to check if she was really a Vedas. Despite this, Regina was sure that she would be able to avoid everything that had happened in her past life. And at the end of the conversation, the princess was about to make a fist, but Aaron stopped her. If you liked it, please like it and write about it in the comments.